I hope now you can hear. Gita stands before us as a scripture which deals with life in its totality. What one should do, how one should conduct life here and now. In so many ways, Gita explains. That is what is called the perennial philosophy. Our problem is not God. Our problem is not heaven. Our problem is not life after death. Here and now. This, many people miss it. And Sri Krishna explains very beautifully in the entire Gita of 700 verses how one should conduct his or her life in a meaningful way, in a fruitful way, and evolve to higher levels of consciousness. That is why Gita, Shankaracharya calls it the Prathama Prasthana. There are three prasthanas according to Vedanta, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and Gita. These help us to evolve and to realize the truth within. And Gita comes the first. Not the first, and the foremost, and that one single text is sufficient for us, if you study properly, to know what we should do here and now. Here, Swami, the subject, the philosophy of action. Gita is nothing but the philosophy of action, the whole Gita. Even though at the end of chapter you find Brahma Vidya Yoga Shastra. Brahma Vidya means metaphysical theories. Yoga Shastra means spiritual dynamics. Religion in practice. These two people are combined. That is what one should know, what one should do. The stress is more on doing, acting, because so long as we continue to breathe, we have to act, and we are acting consciously or unconsciously. But many times we do not know what is meant by action. Aimless movement of limbs is not action. That's why in the Gita it is mentioned, Gahana Karmano Gatihi. The way of action is very difficult to understand. We think we all know what is meant by action. Really we do not know. He says there, action, non-action, wrong action. All these come under what is called action. I remember once a Presbyterian minister, when he had some vacation, he went to a place in somewhere Middle West, where whenever we want to say throw some stuff, we say Middle West. And he unfortunately went to the same place. He met some of his old friends, and one of them was very close to him. He met him after many, many years, and all his children were grown up. He wanted to know what they were all doing. And the gentleman said, 2 of my children are working, the other is a minister. That is the opinion of many people. What ministers do? Nothing. I remember in Pakistan, when India was separated from Pakistan area, a new enumerator came for the census. He asked us in the monastery, what is it all about? He said. Some of our brothers said it is a library, it is a temple, it's a monastery. But we do monks. Well, we are working, doing this, doing that. He was not satisfied, therefore they brought me inside the office. And I was sitting there. And I could understand what he was thinking. I told him, sit down, I told him, What you want. See, there are certain columns are to fill, he said. First your names, your occupation. And he put all the names. What is your occupation? Rest and pleasure. Our Brahma just looked at me and what is this kind of occupation? What is it? Write it, I told him. Rest and pleasure, nothing else. We don't do anything else here. We enjoy and we take rest. He wrote it and he went away. The question is, people do not know what is by action, what they do. You don't produce anything and sell in the market, you are not doing anything. That is the idea. Many people think action means that. But action is everything that we do. Thinking, saying, feeling, even restraining, everything is action. When you do not do anything, that's also an action. When something is to be done, suppose you don't do it, you keep silent. And there also action involved. Many times we see some crime being committed in our very presence, we keep quiet. We don't even say anything, we don't call even police. It so happened once 40 people witnessed a crime in a parking lot and nobody said one word. And the police came and asked him, did you see it? Yes. Why didn't you say anything? Oh, we don't want to be involved. Non-involvement, not doing anything also an action. As Lincoln said once, it is sin to be silent when one should protest. We don't do that. More evil is caused in this world by good people by not doing the right thing. Sri Krishna beautifully explains the meaning of action, because that is the most important factor involved in the entire setup of the Gita. Because Arjuna, as you all know, came to fight, took up a righteous cause. When he came to that battlefield, whatever we may say is a coward or unnerved, lost his ground, but my feelings were different. He was prepared to do anything, but he was not prepared to kill his own grandfather and the teacher. Therefore, he wanted to abstain from that kind of action to kill others. Well, Sri Krishna was not a man to allow him to run away with that explanation. He asked him to stand up, he said. Don't yield to unmanliness. Let no weak commiseration possess you, unnerves you. Stand up, he said. Well, at that time, there was confusion in the mind of Arjuna. What he should do, he did not know. He wanted to know from Krishna what he should do. And to that, the entire Gita is there. And the people explained the human situation, human life, human death, human hereafter, and the meaning of the self. Explaining everything, finally he comes to that point, the action. You should know, Arjuna, what is meant by action, what is meant by inaction, what is meant by wrong action. When you know all these things, you will be free from all problems in life. The whole Gita, we call the song of God, sung by God, sung to the children of God, so that the children of God will realize God. Bhagavad Gita means that. The whole life of man or woman is centered in God. The entire Gita, God-centric discipline, God-centric way of living. Keep in mind God and do anything you want. He asked Arjuna to keep that God consciousness. And then, to do the right thing, when you think of God, you cannot do any evil. When you think of God, your whole life is straightened. And while doing that action, the stress is more on detachment. This is the secret of yoga, that's Gita. Be detached to Arjuna. You are attached now, attached to your grandfather, your relatives, your teacher, even though they are on the wrong side. Your attachment is cause of this misery. Be detached. At the same time, be concerned, be loving, be active. Therefore, detached action is the meaning of the entire Gita. Mahatma Gandhi translated Gita into Indian vernaculars, and he said, as heading he put it, Anasakti Yoga, non-attachment, non-attached or yoga itself, detachment, yoga of detachment. That is, do everything with detachment. Then it doesn't mind you. All actions in this world, we're all bound to do it. We can't run away, whether we like it or not. We all have to perform in a detached way, at the same time, God-centered attitude. Two things in the Gita: God-centric life and detached way of acting. This is not new in the Gita. In the Upanishads also it is mentioned. In the Isha Upanishads it is said, Ishāvāsa niragum sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjītha madvritha kasishadhanam. Here it says, the whole universe is pervaded by that supreme being, the ruler, the ground, the essence. Entire world is pervaded by that. Therefore, Chaktena Bhunjita, enjoy this world by detachment, by renunciation. Madhvritha Kashisudhanam, don't covet anybody's wealth. This is very beautifully explained in the entire Gita. That is, knowing fully well this whole world is pervaded by God, we're all in God, we have come from God, stay in God, we go back to God. Therefore, having that God consciousness, one should act with detachment. Renunciation. Many times this is explained by Acharyas. The first verse is renunciation for the monks. The second verse is for the householders. One should work. Excuse me, I may differ from the Acharya, but not from the truth. There was no distinction, such a distinction in the time of the Upanishads. This is for the householders, this is for the monks. For human beings, all the same. One should act if one wants to leave this world. Without acting, without working, you can't live. And how to? Tena tektena bhunjita. By renunciation, enjoy it. Don't covet anybody's wealth. Actually speaking, what we see before us, what we call ours, nothing belongs to us. Honestly speaking, we don't think many times. The question is here, you put this to yourself. Did you bring anything when you came to this world? Have you ever seen any baby bringing to this world? Have you ever seen a dead man carrying anything out of this world? If I don't bring anything, if I don't take anything, to whom does it belong? To the Creator. Nothing belongs to us. The worst sin that is committed when they invented banks, coins. We do not know. We have no right to hold. We are here as trustees. With a detached way we have to act. The wealth of this whole planet of ours belongs to all that are here. No one should hold and deny to others. Muhammad of all the prophets, it will explain the human situation. He plainly said, the whole universe belongs to Allah. You are only a trustee here. Nothing belongs to you. Anything that you build, it belongs to Allah. Two things specified. The house that you build, the food that you cook. House is not for you. Anybody who has no place when it comes to give shelter. The food that you cook for you does not belong to you alone. If there is somebody nearby, share with them. I have seen once when I was going from Karachi to Calcutta, a train came from Peshawar. There, a chance to stay. I found one Muslim at 12 o'clock, opened his cloth piece, and those breads he tore into pieces, looking at all of us, and he gave one piece to each, and the rest he ate. That's exactly what Muhammad wanted us. Share it all. It does not belong to me. Even now, in Pakistan and other countries, Islamic countries, you find in all documents there is nice print. You don't read properly. In that is written, once you have to sign a document, I asked the lawyer, what is written there? Oh, nobody knows it. He said, I must know it because I am signing it. The small print. The lawyer did that to himself. Then we asked somebody in the court, and the clerk said, yes, here it is in Urdu, it is written there. This property belongs to Allah. Now you are the trustee. You do not possess it. That's all. That you transfer your trust, that's all. It belongs to God, not to anybody else. The idea is, when you have that idea, you have to develop detachment. The detached attitude, you have to move this world. It is just like when we enter into a train, we all get into the train at different times, stay for some time and get away. The whole planet is a big train, imagine. Huge train, round train moving constantly. We all got into that at different times, different places at different times. Now we are all in one car. Who will go when, we do not know. So long as we are in this moving train, which does not belong to us, let us behave properly. Let us be decent individuals. That is exactly the idea of Gita. Here we are, we have to do our responsible duties properly, and at the same time, have the fellow feeling, but be acting constantly with detached attitude, concerned with the well-being of all. Even when Sri Krishna asked Arjuna to fight and stand up, he had some doubt in his mind. The doubt he has beautifully explained in this verse. Karpanya dosho bhatas svabhava prichhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta echreyasya nishchitam bhuvitan sishyasteham syadimam tvam prapanna. I am confused and lost, bewildered. I do not know what to do. I surrender to you. You are my teacher. I am your disciple. Please instruct me what I should do. Echraya syat. The word used is sreyaha. That is that which is good for me. Many times we go to people for advice. If he gives an answer, an advice which is close to my liking, well, he understood my problem. If he says something contrary to that, he has not understood. Many times he appears to my fate. That is, we want the pleasing answer. Arjuna said, no, that which is good. In the world there are two things. One pleasant and good. We all seek the pleasant. We don't want the good. But Arjuna, being a wise man, he said, please tell me that which is good for me and for all. I take refuge with thee, you are my teacher. Give me the answer, what I should do. This verse in the second chapter you find. The answer to this is in the third chapter, 30th verse. That is not only to Arjuna, to all of us. Every human being should mark this verse and try to live up to it, then you have no problems in life. Mai sarvani karmani sannasya adhyatma chetasaha nirasi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvara. The best sloka in the entire Gita. Now in all scriptures, how a human being should behave here. Very beautifully put there. Mai sarvani karmani sannasya, renouncing all actions to God. Adhyatma chetasaha, with spiritual consciousness. Not mundane consciousness. Not the consciousness we feel nationality, caste, religion. No, it's spiritual consciousness. The first tells you God-centric life, centered in God, with spiritual consciousness, nirasihi, without greed, nirmamaha, without egoism, vigatajvaraha, without mental fever, yudhyasva, fight, struggle, act, behave. Take this verse properly. Read again and again. Whenever you have a doubt, just follow that. You will never do anything wrong. Immediately after this verse, Sri Krishna tells, Eme matamidam nityam. This teaching of mine he who follows. Nowhere in the entire Gita, he never mentioned the word my matam, my teaching, my opinion, my philosophy. And this he calls it yoga. Centered in God, renouncing everything to God, with a spiritual consciousness, without greed, without egoism, without mental fever, with balanced mind, act, fight, struggle, behave. You need not go to any place, to anyone. Just put this verse before you and think for yourself what you should do. You will get the answer. This end of the third chapter, when he said that, in the beginning of the fourth chapter, he said, this is yoga, this yoga of mine. I built long back. With a long lapse of time, people have forgotten it. I'm repeating to you again the same thing. Nothing, as I said in the Upanishad, it is there. And Sri Krishna repeated again. The same grand old truth, I'm telling you, watching. Now here, what is the philosophy of life here? One should act. In that process, one should keep in view not one's own likes and dislikes, what is good for all. As I said last time, at the human level, the word I is dead. Honestly, whether in your family, in society, there is no place for I, we, us. Let us do. Our. Whenever we stress I, we separate ourselves from the rest. Whenever we separate, that is cause of all evil. In any situation, think seriously. You commit evil whenever you separate yourself. When you accept the whole as your own, there is no evil. Sri Krishna wanted Arjuna. He had to fight, mind that. Fighting is not an easy joke. Many times people say, how Sri Krishna being a God, whom worship as God, asks Arjuna to fight. Many people do not know another secret. Sri Krishna was the first person who refused to fight. what we call conscience objector. He was the first conscience objector in the whole world. 3,000 years back, he said, I shall not fight. I know the evil of war. If anybody wants my help, I will be there as a guide, but never I shall fight, he said. And that man who wanted to keep away from this warfare asked us not to fight. This we have to be very careful to understand that. That fighting is just like this. It's renouncing everything to God, with the spiritual consciousness, without greed, without ego, with balanced mind, you have to fight. How difficult it is. As Sri Ramakrishna said, kiss but don't bite. That is it. It's very difficult. Swami Vivekananda once said, I do not know how, having Gita in our hands, we Hindus became slaves under the British and the Islamic rule for 800 years, he said. We never practiced Gita, he said. What a religion! It's masterly religion, manly religion. We worshipped Gita, repeated Gita, we never followed it. The result is today, this he said. In the Gita, I find all yogas have been beautifully enumerated. And the most essential yoga is karma yoga, the philosophy of action. We have to begin with that. There you find the seeds of Raj Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. Basing on that, we find Patanjali evolved a beautiful treatise on Raj Yoga. Narada Bhakti Sutras tell us about Bhakti Yoga. Vivek Chodamani of Shankaracharya tells us about Jnana Yoga. But no one ever attempted to systematize that philosophy of action of Sri Krishna. It was left for Swami Vivekananda duty. That's why somebody asked him, what is the best contribution of yours? Karma Yoga, he said. Karma Yoga is the most important thing, he said. And that the entire Karma Yoga has beautifully explained the meaning of karma, the type of actions, why we are bound, how we can free ourselves, what is the motive behind. Karma Yoga in its entirety is presented as a science of action. How one should conduct. Even the word God-centric, what you find in the Gita, Vivekananda did not use that even. You do not believe in God, he said. You do not worship anybody. You do not bow down to any deity. If you do one unselfish act, you are bound to realize the truth, he said. That is absolutely true. Karma, nishkama karma, motiveless action, unselfish action, has tremendous power in purifying your heart. Every unselfish act lifts you up, purifies your consciousness. We all spend so much time in meditation, japa, in prayer, in worship. We never lift this ego up. This unselfish motive, unselfish action helps you to lift this ego. Without that, for a million years, you may do all the rituals, all prayers, all japa, you will not be anything. You will remain the same. Swami Vivekananda knew it. And stressed on this point, unselfish action. Sri Ramakrishna gave a beautiful example. A few drunks got into a boat in the night. And the whole night they went on rowing the boat. When sun rose, they were the same place. Why? What happened? They did not move a bit. They did not lift the anchor. So also our ego, we don't lift it. And we do everything. Many times people are telling me, Swami, over 25 years, 30 years, I'm practicing. I have never got any inspiration, any intuitive feeling. Why? What you are doing? Keep the ego tight. Selfishness in its own position. You do everything, nothing happens. That ego must be lifted up. Gita's whole teaching is lifted on that. O Arjuna, remove your ego. You are only an instrument in the hands of the Lord. To do the righteous job, do it, that's all. Be detached. Be unselfish. You will not be bound. All bondage is due to that ego. Unselfishness is a very important factor. Somebody asked Sri Ramakrishna, when I shall be free? When that I ceases to be. That's what we are doing. How does it? It's simply sitting quiet. It doesn't go away. But work. Meet people. Get knocks. Understand the situation. Learn from that. Simply sitting quiet in a cave will never evolve. Maybe it may take millions of years. But by action, a conscious living process, we get all things. We learn so many things. And that helps us to lift this ego. That's why Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, be a yogi and act. Yogastat kuru karmani. Do all actions being established in yoga. And what is yoga? Yoga karma kaushalam. Efficiency in functioning is yoga. A yogi is one who is thorough, efficient, dexterous. He does not run away from responsibility, stands firm. That is yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Equanimous attitude is called yoga. With these ideas behind, you work. Not that you have to run about and do whatever comes to you, in whatever situation you are placed, fulfill it properly. Arjuna was placed in that situation, you have to fulfill it properly. If you want to understand the philosophy of action according to the Gita, study Karma Yoga of Swami Vedanta. There he put in a science, detached way, how to work. How to work as a master, not as a slave. Many times we work like slaves. Let somebody tell me. No. Even somebody has to tell me, but I work like a master. I accept it. I take full responsibility. And I shall do my job properly. That is not an art, it is to work. It has nothing to do with the quantity of work, the quality of action, the motive of action. And that is beautifully presented in the entire Gita. Gita is to me the most important scripture in the world. You remember when Carlyle and Emerson met? Carlyle gave to Emerson's Gita. His best gift I am giving to you. He brought it to this country, thorough read it. And that thorough it is, you said, it tells us something about life. God within, nature outside, both in tune with that what Gita tells us. Keeping God within, keeping nature outside, and harmonize them to live in tune with both. That is the Gita, I said. That's absolutely true. That what's called the word God, I'm putting the word just as you all know. To me, it's more than the mere theological sense. It's spiritual. God is the spirit within, and the spirit is all the same. With that attitude, they are not separate from me. It is ours. It's not your problem, it's not my problem, it's our problem. Gita wants us to know the world problem is our problem. Feel like that and act like that. Then our whole life is changed. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, in the small circle or bigger circle, your attitude will be quite different. And that philosophy of action Gita teaches. The whole thing is based on that. And that's why in the end, a man who had so much doubt finally had to declare, Nastamo Asmitarlapta. The delusion is gone. I regained my consciousness. I shall do the beating. And that is the answer of Arjuna to Sri Krishna's discourse. Gita has that wonderful power to transform us. Many times I have seen people repeating the whole Gita in 2 hours. Don't waste your time. By that you don't have any, it's a religious, what's called piety, not dynamic spirituality. Read even one verse and think of some Armaras, some Vedanta used to say, read one verse and meditate on that. What did it mean? What did I learn from it? Every word is meaningful. Every verse is meaningful in the Gita. And then you get something out of it. Now, Swami moves his watch. I will stop here. Then the best thing is, you let us, it's a one-way traffic. I'm just speaking to you all, you are hearing. If you have got any doubts, any questions, let us discuss.
Actually, either that Carlisle's copy is still there in your master's place, you are near that place.
I went and I asked those people, they said it was there somewhere and they could find out.
I read somewhere that there is some Gita there.
No, but it's not that.
Not same Gita.
No, I saw that Gita that they had, and but it is not so old actually.
Yes, you took me once. I remember we saw some Gita. But that was not Carlisle's.
No.
Could you
have you got a written question? Anybody now? Anyhow. All right, now.
Could you define what Dharma is and how one knows what one's Dharma is?
Ravidas, you can collect the questions. I think some people are writing. Huh?
No one has any questions.
She had a question.
Just ask the question.
No, sleeps. Collect the slips. Come walk and collect the slips.
Nobody's coming back.
If there are slips.
All right.
This is a beautiful word in Sanskrit, dharma. 2 words in the Vedas they used for the human development. Dharma and Rita. Rita means propriety. Dharma means virtue. And what is dharma? That's a big question. Because it is a virtue, it has been defined in dictionary. Dharma means law, dharma means duty, dharma means religion, dharma means very nature, intrinsic nature. So many definitions are because the main meaning of dharma, that which holds us together. Why it is virtue? Anything that holds us together, it is virtue. Anything that separates us, it is not virtue. It is evil. That is, whenever a problem comes before me, what I should do, when I want to know what is my dharma, put this question: does it make me to hold together with the rest? Anything that separates, that is our dharma. That's why Hindu dharma we call it. It's not religion. It's a way of living, a way of functioning, a way of behaving here. Dharma is a very important factor in the entire Hindu religion or Vedanta religion. Generally, that's why you say the fourfold purpose of life. The first purpose is dharma. Orderliness, virtue. Next comes artha, prosperity. Kama, pleasure. Finally comes moksha, full freedom. The fourfold purpose in Vedanta we find that every individual has these four purposes before. First is dharma. That is why we find in our houses what we do. Long before we send our children to school, we teach children how to behave with his own, that is, our own relatives, strangers. The first principle that we learn from our parents is this: how to conduct ourselves. That is the beginning of dharma. That is why the child hears always from the lips of the parents, don't do it, don't say that, don't go there. All don'ts. No. These no, don'ts straighten the human personality, helps the individual to grow in a virtuous way. And then we go to learn. Dharma means the very ground of our existence. Without that we can't exist. It's a guiding principle in our lives. That is one of the finest things that we discover in our Vedic scriptures. Dharma and Rita, propriety. Both mean very close to that. Propriety. What is proper, what is improper? What is virtue, what is not virtue? These two things help us to grow. It's not what you believe, how you behave. It's not your conviction but conduct. It's not your faith but your functioning. And to that end, we need this dharma. Swadharma, they say. Swadharma means one's own duty. Again here, Swadharma means one's own duty. The one's own duty, it's not put on me by somebody. Remember this. Nobody puts duty on you. You accept it. It's not a force on you. We accept it willingly, consciously, deliberately, knowingly. I am going to discharge it. Then you must be at the post. Do it properly. Arjuna came to fight. Told all his friends that he was going to fight this righteous war. And after coming there, he wanted to run away with the drum. So Krishna said, no. Your dharma now, you have come to fight. You have to fight. How to fight was mentioned. Dharma of Arjuna there, because he has accepted. Not the many times, the caste principles they bring. Forget about the caste principles. They have nothing to do with dharma. Drona was a Brahmin. He came to fight. Krishna was a prince. He refused to fight. It's not the caste. The responsibility taken by them on the spot. What they wanted to do, they must fulfill it. Swadharma means one's own duty, not imposed by somebody, but accepted by yourself, and fulfill it properly. Because if all of us properly behave according to our own responsibilities, the whole society will be excellent. That is the idea. To keep togetherness, that it holds us together, the family, the society, the nation, the world, We all must behave properly. All the laws are made to that end. Dharma Shastra means all laws. What is the purpose of these laws? So that there will be orderliness in society, propriety in society, there will be peace in society. Dharma is at the back. All the lawgivers are all saints and sages. They are not ordinary men and women. Our founding fathers, when they wrote the Constitution, they put all those amendments. Behind this, they saw a lot of serious thinking. And that means all Dharma. How we can keep the whole world of humanity together properly. That's why Dharma means virtue that holds all together as one family, as one unit. The way to behave is based on that point. That's called Dharma.
Finished?
So when you say that when one accepts all, there is no evil, why then do we resist any evil in our behavior during this growth?
Weakness. Whenever we should not resist evil actually.
Why don't the monks then here go and walk on the streets and do whatever?
What do you mean?
I mean, why is there any law in one's behavior?
See, I tell you, law came because some people started misbehaving. In the beginning, there was no need for a law. When everything was going on well, we were shocked to know, if you just go back to the 5,000 years back, there was no such codification. There are millions of laws now, more amendments than the laws. Why? As the society moves and fails to behave properly, we add one more amendment to it. The less the laws, the better the government is. Unfortunately, we do not behave well. It's a human weakness. That is why the more we misbehave, the more laws come. If you can minimize them all, that it is. But it's very difficult to minimize them now. The original codes are very few, not very many. Later on, as years passed, people fail to understand their responsibility. More amendments are added to it. And it's now our modern, this is what's called codes, many volumes of them. New crimes they have discovered. New laws have been made. There's no need, but what we can do? We are responsible. I don't say somebody, I am responsible too. I am part of it. We're all part of it. That's it. There's no need for law if you all know how to behave. That's why some people who are called, so for instance, when Churchill once told Mahatma Gandhi, you are a subject of the British. You have no right to break any law. You have to obey it without questioning. To that Mahatma Gandhi replied, I am not a subject of anybody in the world. I am a free soul, he said. These four walls of prison cannot make me a prisoner. I don't break any law. But if laws are made, keeping the interest of a few in their minds, ignoring others, those laws I shall break. That's why he was called a divine outlaw. He did break. If they are meant for all people in a universal way, I shall not break. I have not broken any good law, he said. But you have made laws to suit your own interest, not interest of all. That I shall break, he said. He was not a lawbreaker. He wanted law. He respected law. Yes?
One more. Or no more. And yeah, they're saturated with their ideas. Now questions are coming out.
I have a question. Part of Krishna's advice to Arjuna about where is not to identify with himself as the doer. And I wondered if that's to be practiced from the very beginning, or does that come later?
The word doer means egolessness. So, you fulfill your responsibility. You do your duty without the ego interfering. Ego means likes and dislikes. That is the idea. See, I am not the doer means, when once you take on you, I am the doer, comes ego. My likes, my dislikes, all things come into functioning. Don't keep away, keep away the I. That's why it's nirmamaha, nirahankar. No I and mine, no egoism. That is it. We work, because this is thing to be done, I shall do it. We have to do it something. There are, suppose in this organization, there are many people here. Certain things to be done. Even though we allot the responsibility to different people, but it's our work. We have to do it. Therefore, when you take that responsibility on you, there is no ego. You are not the doer there. You don't identify that I am doing it. No, it is to be done. Fortunately, it is left for me to fulfill it. Others fail to do it, let me do it. That is the idea. In any setup, it is the responsibility of all to keep things in order. Therefore, the area, I am not the doer. It's a thing to be done, I shall do it. To be done, by chance, I am there on the spot. It's my privilege to do it. I don't take any pride in that.
It is easier to run away.
Oh, very easy.
Why do I go into that trouble?
That's exactly what people do it. As there is some fire in the house, and when I want to go to the office, he is late, therefore he says, oh, somebody will call him and went away. The whole house turned to ashes, there's nobody nearby. And when he came home, he found his house also burned. Then somebody asked him, what's the matter? He says, yes, I saw the fire. I had to go to right to the office, therefore I had no time to call anybody. I thought somebody would do it. That's beautiful word. Yeah.
Very good. So we are very happy that the Swami could come. Though he cut down from 7 days to 5 days, but still we could fully utilize him. We have utilized him well and kept him all the time busy. Now we hope that again he will come and more leisurely fulfill all the duties and obligations. This time, of course, there was a hurried program, so more pressure on him. But we are happy that he came about after 6, 7 years. Could spend a few days with us. Tomorrow morning the Swami goes from Bhagavad. We'll start at 9 o'clock from here. Now I shall request the Swami to give a closing chant. You do it first.
Jananim Sarda Devi Ramakrishnam Jagadguru Padapatme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muru. O Mother Sarda Devi, teacher divine, Sri Ramakrishna. We salute you both again and again. Bless us, inspire us. Illumine our hearts. Keep us all in peace and blessedness. Peace, peace. Peace be unto all.